It's time
to fire this thing up.
Hit it. Do you see this device that is hanging from some of my beams here on my pole barn in Tupper Lake, New York? It's actually called a chain fall, and it's a great kind of do-it-yourself lifting device that you can actually accomplish a repower on your own. And that's what we're going to be doing today here at Ship Shape TV on my 22-foot Crest pontoon boat. If you look at the vessel running at top speed, you'll see that it's kind of a little bit underpowered. It's a 150 horsepower engine currently on the boat. I want to switch it up to a 200 horsepower engine, see if I can get the boat running a little bit more efficiently. But I need to back up a couple of days to Monday after a 15-hour trip to get to the camp here from South Florida. We discovered our new motor was pretty much brought up the driveway as far as the truck could get because we had a fallen tree that took down the zip line over the driveway, blocking access to the camp. And kind of at dusk, at dark, I had to go get the chainsaw. We had to cut a huge maple tree. Apparently they had a huge storm. And if you look at the root ball and how this thing came up out of the ground off this little stream here on my property, man, I'm telling you, that was a challenge. The next challenge was the next day. We had to somehow now get a 500-pound about weighing engine up off the ground. And we don't have forklifts, we don't have any type of tractors or lifting devices to move something off the ground. So we kind of had to really put our minds together, and we decided if we used one of the ATVs and an ATV trailer that we have that's wide enough to carry the crate of this Yamaha 200 that we're going to be putting on the boat, maybe we'd have a chance to do this ourselves. It was a struggle. Literally, I lifted up the light end of the crate in order to get the trailer underneath it. In fact, the ATV actually kind of jacked up a little bit, went around the back, lifted up this heavy, this is where the power head is, heavy end of the crate, slid it in, and we got it up here. I think we're going to be able to do it. But here's another situation that we ran into. If you look at the top side of that motor, that outboard, you'll notice that there aren't any lifting rings. And one of our guests today on the program is Mark. He's from Bob's Machine Shop. They were just on a couple of weeks ago, and they sell lifting rings. We found out, though, kind of through research, that there's maybe 4 or 5 different lifting rings for these various E-Tech and Evinrude, and, you know, depending on the year and everything else. He brought this up. It's not going to work. And where we're going to begin is we're going to start off with our local blacksmith in town, Dan King. And we're going to show you how he made this lifting ring for us out of his forge, his anvil, oh my gosh, the quenching process. But this is very, very ingenious. We're going to learn about this. We're going to be putting a jack plate on the boat. We're going to be putting a new engine on the boat, and we're going to show you a really cool fueling station for all of the guys that have these lake camps in these very remote places. But where we need to begin, like always, is we have to acknowledge and thank all the wonderful companies in the marine industry who help make Ship Shape TV possible.
Ship Shape TV, where boat improvement lives, is made possible by the entire collection of beautiful Sunbrella fabrics. Sunbrella, the only fabric to offer both design and performance, above and below deck. And by Yamaha, reliability starts here.
Now in our 45th year, KenCraft introduces the all-new 2020 KenCraft Bay Rider Bay boats and skiffs, powered exclusively by Yamaha, specifically designed to fish hard, specifically designed to cruise well with your family. Can there really be one boat that does both exceedingly well? Yes, there can, with a KenCraft. KenCraft, top-tier fit and finish. KenCraft, only the best, most expensive marine hardware integrated. Can it be yours? Of course it can. Affordably. KenCraftBoats.com.
Here are just a few issues that all pleasure boaters have to deal with. Leaking sunshades, dirty, stained, molded in non-skid, black streaks dripping down from the side of your boat, oxidation, stained hulls like this ugly waterline mustache, bird droppings, and yes, spiders. Your solution, Starbright Solutions, the perfect video resource for teaching the boat owner one-on-one what to use and how to use it to obtain star-like results. Watch now, only at starbright.com. That's starbright.com.
Attention waterfront property owners already sold on the fact that synthetic lumber for decks and docks is far superior to the pitfalls of pressure-treated wood. You know about the splintering and the weathering issues. However, not every composite board sold is alike. Some turn chalky, decay due to mold and mildew. Most fade in color with age, though not true when you opt for the best. Lumber Rock, the fastest growing manufacturer of synthetic lumber on and around the waterfront. Lumber Rock, we never fade away.
Hi, I'm Dan King. I'm a blacksmith. My business is called Hammer Song in Tupper Lake, New York. John and I have done a couple of projects over the years, and he called me up for a favor last night when he was having trouble lifting his outboard off the back of the pontoon boat. Went up to camp and took a look at the motor and noticed that there was a bolt pattern on the top of the crank. And I thought if we made a template of the bolt pattern, it would fit over the top and I could weld a half ring over that and they could affix it to the hoist. But the guys that work on the motor said, hey, wait a minute, there's a stator under there, and if we damage the stator, it's going to be a problem. So the next thing we looked at, we found that there's a 5/16 opening threaded in the top of the crankshaft. So we went and got a 5/16 of an inch bolt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fashion a ring out of this 3/8 inch round rod in my forge. My forge heats up to about 2,000 degrees, so it'll be no problem to bend this ring. And I'm going to do it right on this jig over here in the leg vise. After that, we're going to take the bolt and we're going to put it in a hole in the table so we don't damage the threads. And then I'll weld the ring to the top of the bolt with my MIG welder. I'll put a nice fat weld so it'll hold tightly when they lift that heavy motor off the back of the pontoon boat. It ought to take only about 10 minutes.
This is the top of the crankshaft with the threads, the 5/16 inch threads that have already been cut into it. Here's our new lifting ring from Dan King. Just kind of screws in, it's a bolt with the ring welded onto it. And basically what we need to do now is we need to somehow lift this 150 horsepower off the transom of the pontoon boat to put 50 horse more into the boat. We're doing a Yamaha 200. And guys, I want to now introduce to you our newest technician on staff. This is Brian Farrell. And Brian came highly recommended from one of the top marine tech schools in the nation, located in South Florida, called McFadder.
Correct.
Your instructor, you wouldn't believe how he raved about you, Brian. And you said, you got to hire this kid. And we did. All right. You know a lot about this. You're very trained. Let's talk about, somebody's trying to do a repower on their own. Okay, we're using a barn, we're using a chain fall and everything else. And typically, Yamaha doesn't sell to the average consumer. You've got to go through like a dealer or something like that. With my affiliation now with Matan Classic Collection, we're a boat builder now. That's how I was able to get this motor, okay? How would you go about breaking the bolts? It's held in with 4 bolts from the back of the transom. What all do we have to do here?
Well, we're going to have to separate all the rigging from the boat itself that's going to the outboard. So we have to do the throttle and shift cable, fuel line, steering. On this boat, we've got hydraulic steering that we're going to end up using on that new Yamaha 200. But once we get everything separated, we're able to take a little bit of weight off.
I want to talk about that. With this chain fall, on now our lifting ring, how much weight do we want to kind of take off just so that we can unbolt it from the transom?
You want to put some tension on it, just so it's helping you out a little bit.
But not too much.
No, if you end up going too much, you're going to end up binding the bolts the opposite direction. So
okay.
You want to take a little bit of weight off so you can undo the bolts in the transom, and then once that's separated, the motor will just be hanging.
What I'm thinking about, we could use the pallet that came with the Yamaha, put it underneath this 150 horsepower to keep it off the gravel. We could lay it down gently, Then I'm thinking we could move the chain fall over about 3 feet so that we have clearance to hoist up the 200 Yamaha, the F200.
Just move the boat.
Okay, we're going to have to uncrate it and everything else. We reposition the boat and we're going to be in great shape.
Protect bare metal from the damaging effects of salt, grime, and water with the long-lasting power of the Hide. Shark Hide Metal Protectant. Shark Hide for decades has been the only way to keep plain or anodized aluminum looking like new indefinitely. It's the only product that goes on in seconds and dries to the touch fast. Yet lasts years and years. Preserve that diamond plate. Coat stainless steel hardware. Hide all signs of aging from all bare metals with the Hide. Shark Hide. So what are you waiting for? Order now.
There are some things not to love about boating. Refueling with a gas can certainly makes that list. If you're tired of fumbling around with today's gas can nozzles or impossible to reach fuel fills, the LilyPad Marine Funnel is for you. The dock-mounted design helps keep both hands free, allowing you to stand comfortably as you transfer up to 5 gallons of fuel in 50 seconds. When finished, simply coil your hose up in the cabinet and enjoy some fun in the sun. Order your LilyPad Marine Funnel today at lilypadmarine.com.
Welcome back. You're dialed in to ShipShape TV, boat improvement that's easy to comprehend.
Hi again, everyone. This is Captain Mark Henderson with Taco Marine and the Liquid Fire Fishing Team, coming to you again from this year's ICAST in Orlando, Florida. Taco Marine has brought you some innovative and really cool products over the years. This one right here, it's a game changer. It's called the Quick Release Fender Lock and the Pontoon Fender Lock. You know what? Tying off a fender has always been difficult. I've got 38 rod holders on my CV, and it's always tough to find somewhere to tie it off. I don't have a rail. You might not have a rail on your boat. So this right here is an absolute game changer. All you do is depress this button, pull it out, and look how attractive that is. No more toe stubbing, and it's a real simple installation. A 1/2-inch hole, a washer, a nut, a little bit of marine sealant underneath, and you know what? You're ready to go. Simply remove this, take the rope, install it through the hole, go right over top, and pull it tight. Not even any knots involved. How much simpler can you get than that? Simple to adjust if you ever need to. If you're going up to a floating dock for fuel, a restaurant, or rafting off with your friends on a sandbar, this right here makes it fast, simple, and easy. Let me show you something else. John's got a 22-foot crest up at Tupper Lake, New York. What in the world's he gonna do when it comes to tying off and fendering with that boat? He simply drilled a small hole right through the top rail, put a bolt right through it, and guess what? No more fumbling around, no more wondering where fenders are gonna go. Real simple, real easy. See you next time.
Well, we have successfully lowered the 150 horsepower outboard onto a pallet. And again, there's nothing wrong with this engine. It runs absolutely fantastic. My issue is the boat was underpowered. And welcome back. I now want to introduce you to our next expert guest. I told people about you a little bit, Mark, in the beginning, and thank you for bringing that lifting ring.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, there's a ton of them, all right? But a couple of weeks ago, your brother was actually on the program, Stephen Pellini, and this is Mark Pellini. He is the product manager for Bob's Machine Shop. He's also a mechanical engineer. This dude has such a wealth of engineering experience, and he's brought it into the different, I guess there's like 66 different model jack plates that you guys offer the public. This one is specifically for the pontoon boat, okay? What do you call this specific Bob's Machine Shop jack plate?
Well, this is our 6-inch offset Action Series jack plate. This is going to provide 6 inches of offset and give you the ability to raise your outboard engine up to 7.5 inches. And that's going to help you a lot with that weed problem you have down in the lake there.
You know, Stephen actually recommended getting a second battery box to put the check valves for the other jack plate into it, try to contain it. I'm seeing that everything on this particular jack plate is self-contained. All the hydraulics are incorporated into this unit. What is it going to give the pontoon boat owner? Okay, because I'm thinking a lot of people are in shallow lakes. There's weed. They've got to get a prop up. And guys, when you trim an engine, okay, on a pontoon boat, it's virtually impossible from inside the boat to reach that propeller to clear it. Inevitably, what you have to do is you have to swim around the back of the boat and you have to clear it that way. Who wants to do that? I don't. This is going to solve my problem. Can we talk a little bit about the installation? We now have a clear transom on the Crest pontoon boat. How do we affix this to the vessel?
Well, since the motor's already off and ready pre-drilled, the jack plate's going to bolt in the same BI bolt pattern, and then the motor's going to mount with stainless hardware.
Okay, so
right
these are the
place.
regular engine bolts that you would have. We're going to use those to mount the jack plate to the boat. Okay, this is a shorter version. We're now going to use these shorter version stainless steel bolts to mount the F200 onto the Bob's Machine Shop jack plate.
Right on the jack plate.
Okay.
Everything's pre-drilled.
How hard is it to wire this jack plate?
Super simple. Once the jack plate's mounted, there's a plug-and-play connector with a waterproof Deutsch connector, which is pretty much a marine industry standard.
Wow.
Plug and play to our wiring harness, and plug and play to your switch. Runs off the standard 12-volt marine battery.
What's the regular retail price on this jack plate?
Retails for a little over $1,000 right now.
Now, I was kind of wrestling back and forth with Mark last night here at the camp. We called his brother Steven, and you know, not only do we try to bring the best gear for your boats on the show, guys, I also try to help negotiate to make it affordable for you. And I think we worked out something really nice.
We did.
For people in the audience. What kind of a discount did we work out for people, but they gotta kind of have to act now?
Get a discount on any of our jack plates, go to bobsmachine.com, and the coupon code, type in SHIPSHAPE. One word, SHIPSHAPE, bobsmachine.com.
Boat Steering Solutions, every boater's BFF, is not a repair shop. We remanufacture hydraulic devices back to original factory specs. We disassemble, inspect, and replace all defective parts. Simply tell us what's wrong. Ship us your helm, cylinder. It's remanufactured, then back to you in a day or two at like half the cost of buying new. Need hydraulic hose? Boat Steering Solutions, your official C-Star authorized service center, is your BFF. The savings are here at boatsteer.com.
Hi, I'm Barry Burhoff with Surehold Industries. Look at this guy and all the stuff he needs to maintain his boat. I guarantee you he'll be tripping on that all day long. Forget that nonsense. Use the Surehold family of products featuring the one handle that does it all. Surehold has over 40 different quality attachments that easily locks into place. Deck brushes, mops, squeegees, scrubbers, paddles, boat hooks, and even a camera adapter. Whether it's for your car, truck, RV, or boat, keep it clean and simple with Surehold products.
Hi, I'm Chris Massell, one of the mechanical engineers at Deco Boat Lift. Since 1959, we've been leading the industry in both design and innovation, such as our patented cable retention system, so we can lift your boat quickly, quietly, and safely. I invite you to discover the Deco difference.
Deco Boat lifts boats with ease.
Welcome back. You're tuned into ShipShape TV, America's favorite boat improvement show.
So here is the original tack with the 150 horsepower outboard engine that came out of this opening right here on my center console. And you can see this is very old school with this back kind of clamp or brace or whatever you call it, and you kind of tighten it up with these little nuts. And this is old school. Yamaha's gauges are so much more well engineered. Here's the new one that we're putting in. This is a digital gauge, and they have a bezel and it just kind of screws in. But the threads are just a hair bigger than my opening on the original gauge, the original tack. So I want to show you, you know, we're in the middle of nowhere. You've been asking for backyard, backwoods, marine mechanic stuff. I'm going to try to accommodate everybody at home. I found in the garage some fighting sticks that the kids use to kind of battle each other here in the yard. And I pulled off the sock. It's just a cloth sock. And I got a nice foam, very hard surface here. And with some masking tape, I just taped on a piece of 40 grit It's a disc, 40 grit paper, right? But check this out. What I'm able to do is I can come in and I can go all the way around this hole and I can open it up just a pinch, kind of sanding on that fiberglass to enlarge the opening so that we can get, hopefully, this new gauge to set in there and check that out. Guys, here's one of the new engineered jerry cans that the EPA, in their wisdom, has designed in order to try to prevent gas vapors from getting into the atmosphere, and that's great. Problem is whenever you go to actually fill it, you have to kind of push this thing down. There's no vent. It burps. It spills fuel, either in the water or in the ground if you're filling up an ATV, something like that. And it is not the best. This is all that's available today, all right? And a couple of weeks ago, we had this gentleman on the program. This is Corey Schaub, and Corey owns Lily Pad Marine. We put on one of your diving boards onto the pontoon boat. Center of fun. Any boat that has one of those, it's amazing. This is something for a person that owns a private dock.
Yeah.
And Corey, a lot of guys like me would rather go to the gas station to get gas for the boat rather than a marina, okay? Because you're going to save about $1 or $2 a gallon, all right? But the problem is spilling.
Yeah.
You solved it. What do we have here?
This is the Lily Pad Marine funnel, and this is basically a device that's designed to get fuel from a jerry can into your boat, your PWC, your ATV, anything you pour gas into.
Okay, guys, come here. Look at this. All right, I'm picking this up, and I'm telling you, it's got to weigh 40 or 50 pounds. And without a vent, it takes forever for the gas to come out. You're going to hold that. I mean, you're free lifting that weight
you just
for
stand right there and
10
hold
minutes. All right, I'm already sweating. Okay, this is really cool because the funnel has a huge opening. No burping or chugging is going to get it spilled. And he has this lip right here to hold the weight of the jerry can so you don't have to. And this device actually gets mounted onto a piling or a post at your dock, or maybe on the side of your barn, maybe on the side of your garage with this device right here. And on the back side, it has slides. It locks into place. It's really nice. Show everybody, once you have the gas in there, how you get it into the wave runner, how you get it into the pontoon boat, whatever.
We've got this hose with the stainless steel ball valve and the machined aluminum nozzle that fits all the new EPA fuel fills on the boats. And as you're pouring the fuel in here, you have the valve open in your boat, and this will transfer 5 gallons of fuel in 50 seconds.
All right, and you can immediately shut it off. All right, got shut off valve, or you can open it up. How much is the device?
$289.
All right, where could somebody get a Lily Pad Marine funnel?
lilypadmarine.com. Go there, we've got our retailers page on there. You can see all the different retailers that have it, and lots of information on it also.
This is the new ignition switch for the Yamaha F200 in our repower. This is the trim switch for the Bob's Machine Shop jack plate, and we have limited room on this fiberglass center console. It's relatively small. I'm thinking about putting the ignition in about this spot right here, so it's going to be flush mounted, and my Bob's Machine Shop switch got a little hole here, all right, for a gauge. It was like a centering type of thing, but I think I could cover it right there, and now I'll have two-hand control for, here's my binnacle. I'll be able to trim up the engine up and down, and the jack plate I can trim up and down right in this spot right here. But I want to help you guys, if you're doing something like this by yourself, to protect your fiberglass and your gel coat or your paint, okay, from chipping or getting marred. Before we use the template that comes in the instruction manual, we're going to lay down some masking tape over the areas in which we're going to be cutting out. We'll then put the template, tape that into place, and I'm going to use a 3/8" drill bit in the 4 corners. This way I'm going to be able to bring in my jigsaw with my blade, and I'm going to be able to make those straight cuts, and I'm going to be able to make those 90-degree radiuses. And the masking tape is going to really help keep the gel coat from fracturing. Okay, it's going to kind of adhesive it into place.
No matter where this day takes you, don't change your heading until after the program. We'll be right back.
Deco has mastered the art of boat lifts. We make big boat lifts, little boat lifts.
We have lifts for your toys.
Lifts for all the boys.
Deco's direct drive lifts.
Deco's very elegant beamless lifts.
Elevator lifts. Even the very sexy boathouse lifts.
So remember that only Deco has mastered the beautiful art of boat lifts.
Deco boat lifts boats with ease.
This is why we call them Ocean Tamer. Total body support and comfort. Shock-absorbing marine beanbag chairs. Ocean Tamer, the most comfortable seat on board. Crafted from 100% marine-grade materials. Built tough to handle the harsh marine environment. Water repellent. UV stabilized. Ocean Tamer marine beanbags. 4 awesome styles, tons of color choices. Can be personalized with boat name or logo. Finally, 2 nylon handles for ease of carrying or stowing. Order yours today. ocean-tamer.com.
There are some things not to love about boating. Refueling with a gas can certainly makes that list. If you're tired of fumbling around with today's gas can nozzles or impossible to reach fuel fills, the LilyPad Marine Funnel is for you. The dock-mounted design helps keep both hands free, allowing you to stand comfortably as you transfer up to 5 gallons of fuel in 50 seconds. When finished, simply coil your hose up in the cabinet and enjoy some fun in the sun. Order your LilyPad Marine Funnel today at lilypadmarine.com.
Welcome back. You're watching ShipShape TV, boat improvement made easy.
Earlier on the program, Mark Henderson was telling us about these fender holders that Taco Marine is now offering to not only regular fiberglass center consoles and everything, but also now for pontoon boats. And welcome back. We've successfully installed the Yamaha F200 onto the back of the pontoon boat. We've put in our Bob's Machine Shop jack plate. As soon as the wind dies down, they're forecasting tonight 40 knot winds, tomorrow like 45. Okay, we're not going to get the pontoon boat out. I want to kind of leave off with what Mark was talking about with these fender holders. This is so cool, and I want to get a little more in depth with a pontoon boat, how to install them. But basically, guys, what you want to do is you want to use a center punch on the top side of your rail, the very center of it, and you want to strike it so that your drill bit isn't going to wander or your hole saw isn't going to wander. For a pontoon boat and this 1-inch fence, you are going to want to drill a 3/4 inch hole. All right, and that's what I have right here. And you only want to drill through the top side of it. Take that center punch, once it's clear, hit the very center of it, and you're going to hit that with a 1/4 inch drill bit, and that's for the screw at the bottom of the device that holds it in, and everything is protected with isolating it with nylon washers and everything else. But this is a very nice flush mounted type installation. Let me get this out of my way. But I want to show you how this works because it's really cool. Okay, so here's my fender line, and actually Mike Hauser from TaylorMade Products, they make the boat fenders. I was telling him my color scheme, and he sent me up a set of 6 of these because I'm going to be putting 3 fender holders on one side of my pontoon boat, 3 on the other side. All right, but look at how easy this is to actually deploy a fender. It's just a quick pin, bam, it snaps right in there. I'm protected, and when you don't want the fender, you just, again, with the quick pin, release it, and then you put it under a seat. Hey guys, we got to get back to Florida, but it was a challenge this time, but I'm so glad that you were able to see how we overcame a lot of obstacles. I'm John Graviscus. We'll see you on the next go-around.
SeaDeck was founded by a group of individuals who share a love of life on the water. 13 years later, and more than 130 employees strong, our passion has grown stronger than ever before. We are fishermen.
We are paddleboarders.
We are surfers.
We are parents.
We are captains for clean water.